Benvenuti a Parma, which is the land of Parmesan cheese, really good prosciutto, and tortelli, which are basically just ravioli, except if you call them ravioli in Parma, you're going to get cut.
No, seriously, it's wild. So if you look at tortelli and ravioli, the only difference seems to be that the ravioli have these jagged edges, whereas tortelli don't. If you ask an Italian outside of Parma what's the difference between tortelli and ravioli, most can't tell you the difference. Many of them have never even heard of tortelli before. If you go to Wikipedia and you type in tortelli, you get pictures of ravioli. It's like something out of that one scene from Coming to America.
They got the golden arches. Mine is the golden arcs.
I see they got the Big Mac. I got the Big Mick.
They use a sesame seed bun. My buns have no seeds.
And just like the Russians in the Battle of Stalingrad in World War II, the people of Parma will defend this position to their bitter deaths.
So here we have Signor Parmigianino, who is most famous for drawing pictures of Parmesan cheese. He drew so many images of Parmesan cheese on this castle wall back here that he was nicknamed Parmigianino, which wasn't actually his real name.
One of his most famous paintings is a young woman named Antia, which is also featured in an episode of Gilmore Girls.
Fun facts. So this is the Battistero, which is where people get baptized. In English, it's the baptistry. Up there, we've got the waves that represent the baptism
Of Christ.
of Christ, of course. Right here is the really cool handcrafted family tree of Moses. Boom. And over here, we've got the entire family tree of the Virgin Mary. And this is where baptisms would happen, and the priest would stand over there in the middle, and then the actual kid would be baptized in this portion over here. And if you look up, this was the transition from the Romanesque style to the Gothic style, which is why it's so tall. And you see that on the outside, inside, you'll see a lot of this art depiction, whether it's just art, like drawn, painted, or sculpted. All of these tell a story. Every single one tells some story from the Bible. We're in the Strada al Duomo, the street of the Duomo, or the street at the Duomo. And right there, baby, is the Duomo. You can't have a Duomo without a clock tower. Now we've got the Duomo di Parma, which is a Romanesque style, not to be confused with the Gothic style or the Baroque style. The way you know a style is Baroque is you've got a Romanesque style, and then they throw a bunch of gold on it, and it turns into Baroque. It's a simple explanation. And you have to be careful when you come here because it's always closed from noon to 3. 15 means 3.
See, this was painted by Correggio, which was the nemesis of the other painting we saw, the statue of Parmigianino. This is the nemesis. That art actually is Renaissance transitioning already into Baroque. This is why it's quite full of stuff, and it depicts when the Virgin Mary went into the heaven. And as you know, she's the only one that went into the heaven with her own body. Not just the soul, she went with the whole body.
We have in front of the Duomo 2 lions. One is red, one is gray or white, and they represent God and his ability to, his strength and the ability to hold up the church. And we've got the 2 lions because one represents Jesus and one represents humanity. The dual nature of the cosmos, of religion, of everything around us.
That was all the history we were gonna get.
Here's an ancient pharmacy antique from San Giovanni that was open in 1201, but it looks closed. Maybe we get in by breaking the windows, but we can't do that either because there's metal bars behind them. RIP. Even in 1201, they like their eagles, though. What do Russia, America, half the countries in the world, all the emperors, and this ancient pharmacy have in common? They all use eagles. And up here, we see these flyer kinds of things hanging, advertising the Festival Verdi, and that's because the famous Giuseppe Verdi, the Italian musician and composer, is from Parma. Now, one of the greatest things about Italy is some of the fruits and vegetables and berries. One of the things I've seen only in Italy and literally nobody else are wild strawberries that look like this. They're teeny tiny. For comparison, look how small they are. They're tiny. Over here are normal strawberries, which even in Italy are smaller than in America. And compare them to these ones. They're teeny. They're like raspberry sized. But the flavor is a lot more concentrated and they're a lot sweeter. And they're extremely difficult to find. Even in Italy, usually you'll see them in the summers, so it's extremely unusual to see them here in the beginning of November. So if you come across them, get them. They're a treat. Okay, that's it for Parma. Ciao.